Welcome to Accessibility in OER. The goal of this video is to give you a basic understanding of accessibility as it relates to open educational resources. This is not meant to be an exhaustive guide for creating accessible content, but this video helps you consider accessibility when choosing open educational resources. This presentation uses a Creative Commons Attribution license. Feel free to share and adapt this freely. In the video description, there's a link to download the original PowerPoint file. The file includes the audio narration and the script. Feel free to use and adapt these materials in any way you'd like, but please give me credit for my work and don't use it commercially. I based this course on Open Washington's Module 9 Accessibility. It was created under the CC by 4.0 license that allows for use. Open Washington has not endorsed this video. In this video, we'll talk about the goal of accessibility, some common misconceptions about accessibility, and give you some tips for choosing accessible resources. The primary goal of accessibility is to allow a broad range of learners to access materials in a wide variety of situations. So why is accessibility important? According to the World Health Organization, about 15% of the world's population has a disability. This number is expected to rise in the future as people live longer. The first misconception is that accessibility is only for disabled people. Accessibility is based on universal design principles. Good design benefits everyone, not just those with disabilities. For example, Activision is a popular video game company. In a Twitter thread, David Tizaran, the senior accessibility manager at Activision, indicated that 60% of video game players opted in for subtitles in a recent Assassin's Creed game. In a later game, when subtitles were enabled by default, only 5% of players opted out of the subtitles. Subtitles allow for the hard of hearing to experience media, but others can also benefit from them too. For example, non-native English speakers can read subtitles and follow with a video easier than with audio narration alone. With closed captions on TV, diners can still enjoy watching a sports match on TV. Accessibility simply increases the number of ways people can access content. Misconception number 2 is that accessibility costs too much, so it is not worth trying. It is true that OER is often developed on tight budgets, and it is also true that accessibility can be expensive to add late into a project. However, if OER designers consider accessibility from the outset, there is not much additional cost. It is impossible to make something accessible for everyone, but each accessibility initiative allows more people to access the content. Many accessibility initiatives cost very little or nothing to implement, especially if they're considered early in the project. Other minor tweaks to existing educational resources can make the resources accessible to a broader range of learners. Another way to think about accessibility is with a real-world example. Consider the difference between doorknobs and door handles. Door handles are much more accessible than doorknobs because doorknobs require hand dexterity to grab the knob and turn it. Handles do not even require hands to open. A handle can be opened with an elbow. Accessibility benefits more than just those with disabilities. Imagine carrying a heavy box with both hands. The door handle can be opened with an elbow and a shoulder nudge. When building a facility, knobs and handles cost the same up front, but door handles can let many more people access the building. In this video, you will learn how to choose door handles for your OER projects. Next, we'll discuss choosing accessible materials for OER. First, we will discuss choosing accessible videos. Many people immediately think of subtitles or closed captioning, but what is the difference between the two? How can the visually impaired access a video? Closed captioning and subtitles are very different, but they have a key difference. Closed captions assume that the listener cannot hear the video. In addition to the dialogue, important sounds are also given text descriptions. Subtitles only provide text for the dialogue that is spoken. Closed captioning is more accessible than subtitles, but depending upon the video, subtitles may still be appropriate. For example, sound effects and music are probably not important in an academic speech. So how do you find accessible video online for your OER? One easy way is to filter a YouTube search to only display videos with closed captioning/subtitles. After doing a standard search, click Filter and select Subtitles/CC to filter your results. To enable closed captions/subtitles on YouTube videos, click the CC logo in the bottom right corner of the YouTube video. YouTube automatically generates subtitles on many videos, but the quality is often poor. Be sure to check the quality before including any video in your OER. Most other major video platforms include similar options for searching for closed captions / subtitles. So how can the visually impaired watch a video resource? They can use audio descriptions. Audio descriptions allow those who cannot see a video to hear an audio description of the crucial visual elements of a video. This typically happens during lulls in dialogue. Visually impaired can enjoy a television program, but fully sighted people can also enjoy them too. For example, a busy commuter could catch up on a popular series on Netflix while driving without having to look at the screen. OER with audio descriptions can be difficult to find, but the American Council for the Blind's Audio Description Project has an ever-expanding list of movies, TV shows, and videos with audio descriptions. Next, we'll discuss choosing and using accessible images. It's important to remember that not all visual impairments are equal. Blindness is not an all-or-nothing proposition. We need to consider many different degrees of impairments when choosing accessible images for OER. Here are some simple do's and don'ts for using and choosing accessible images. Do include alt text on your images. Alt text briefly explains the contents of an image. These allow people who can't see your images to know what they contain. For important graphs or charts, also include an explanation of the important points in the surrounding text. Adding alt text is easy. In many programs, just right-click on the image and choose Edit Alt Text. Don't clutter your images. Minimalist design improves the readability for everyone. Do use a sharp contrast between text and the background. For example, white text on garnet. Contrast is a basic element of visual design. This will improve your OER for everyone, not just for those with weak vision. Don't choose images that only use color to differentiate important parts. There are multiple types of color deficiencies, with red-green color blindness being the most common. If the image can still easily communicate its meaning in black and white, it is likely accessible. How would this slide look for someone who has a red-green color deficiency? Let's see. Notice that all the text remains equally legible. You can find a link to the color blindness simulator that I used to make this image in the video description. Next, we'll discuss choosing accessible open textbooks. One big advantage of OER textbooks over traditional printed textbooks is that OER textbooks are already distributed digitally. Digital distribution greatly improves accessibility, but there are a few additional considerations. The most important thing is to use text, not scanned images of text. Text can be searched. Being able to quickly navigate a textbook is beneficial for all learners. Text also allows learners to use assistive technologies. Assistive technologies can take many forms. Two common forms are text-to-speech programs that read the text aloud to learners, and magnifying programs to enlarge the text. Text can be enlarged to any size without losing quality, but images quickly become pixelated. Text can also be easily translated to foreign languages. Though machine translation is far from perfect, it can still allow users a cursory understanding of the materials. The easiest way to see if you have text or an image of text is to highlight the text with your mouse. If you cannot select it, there's a good chance that it is not accessible. OER textbooks can come in many forms, but PDFs are the most common. Tagged PDFs provide accessibility in OER textbooks. But what is a tagged PDF? A tagged PDF is a type of PDF that includes an underlying tagged structure that enables headings to be identified as headings, lists as lists, images as images with alt text, etc. These are crucial for allowing those with visual and cognitive issues to access the textbook that you choose. Assistive technologies rely on tags to help users navigate the text. This can benefit those with visual deficiencies and some cognitive impairments, such as dyslexia. How can you tell if a PDF is tagged or not? Just because a PDF appears well organized with headings, lists, does not mean that it's a tagged PDF. It's easy to check if a PDF is tagged or not. Simply open the PDF in Adobe Acrobat Reader. Choose the File menu, the top left, and select Document Properties. On the bottom left, it will say Tagged PDF. This clearly indicates if the PDF is tagged or not. PDFs aren't the only way to share OER textbooks. Microsoft Office makes it easy to ensure that your OER is accessible. To check, first open your document in a Microsoft Office program, then click File in the top left corner of your screen. Next, select Check for Issues, and then check for accessibility. If the OER document is not fully accessible, Microsoft Office will walk you through steps to fix your document. This includes the readability of the text, alt tags on images, and reading order for assistive technologies. This presentation was just an overview of the basics of choosing OER for accessibility. Hopefully now you have a good idea of how to choose accessible materials for your OER project. There's no such thing as perfectly accessible resources that every possible person can access, but if you follow these basic guidelines, you too can choose accessible open educational resources. Check out the following sites for more detailed information. Links will be provided in the video description. Here are the references for the video. They're also included in the video description. I want to thank YouTuber Mark Brown for his influential Designing for Disability series on YouTube. In this series, he explains how to design for different kinds of disabilities in video games. His series is the reason I chose accessibility as my topic for this video.